Today, I want us to talk about something very uncomfortable and different. Something that Kenyans whisper about but rarely slow down to think through. The life of Rachel Ruto, the First Lady of Kenya.
Mtazamaji, mambo si mazuri tena.
I do understand that this is random, especially for a forum like this one, but it was triggered by a photo. A photo taken during the New Year crossover event in Eldoret, where President William Ruto was addressing the nation.
While the country crossed into 2026, one image froze Kenya's political internet. First Lady Rachel Ruto, dark shades on, full night events, unshaken.
Almost immediately, social media exploded. People didn't ask why she was wearing the glasses. They jumped straight to something darker. The president has beaten his wife. Let me be very clear from the start. There's no evidence of that, and this is just speculation, not facts. But here's the real question. Why does this story keep coming back? Because this is the second time that we are hearing that the president has allegedly assaulted the First Lady.
And I keep telling you people, you need to learn to read body language and recognize patterns. Because why was the First Lady, why was she wearing massive sunglasses, kubwa? Why was she wearing them during the New Year celebrations at night?
I did some investigations, and what I found out will shock you. If you love this kind of content, go ahead and like this video and subscribe. Now let's get to the video.
This photo of our First Lady Mama Rachel has sparked mixed reactions online, na kama kawaida ya Wakenya washajijazia mavitu zao.
Like I said, this was not the first time. Months earlier, another image of the First Lady circulated online. She appeared withdrawn, distressed, basically not herself. Again, the same conclusion was drawn.
But surely, do you think Zakayo can go to this extent of domestic violence in this generation as the president peer?
So, instead of debating whether or not she was beaten, which is not our business and either way it's not proven, we need to ask a deeper question. Why do Kenyans so easily believe this story?
Mbona body language yake ilikuwa ni kama unemseni kama ameforce kukua hapo, ni kama hakuwa anataka kuwa kwa hiyo event.
This president has given us so many reasons to believe such a story. You cannot defend President Ruto, but we're going to focus on just 3 reasons. The first reason lies squarely on how currently Kenyans see President William Ruto.
The person who is obsessed with plans to kill me is William Ruto. I know that my assassination was discussed on Tuesday. My question to you is, did you have anything to do with that? As the late Jacob Juma claimed, as Jirongo claimed, and why you?
Over the past 2 years, young people protested across the country. Lives were lost, blood was spilled. Whether justified or not, many citizens now associate the president with violence, harshness, lack of empathy.
Actually, 32,000 people will die before we get to the election under the guns of this regime.
So nikiwaambia jameni, huyu jamaa ni mbaya, ameua vijana wetu, amewanyonga.
Names like the butcher of Sugoi and Githenji, meaning the butcher, didn't come from nowhere. So, when people already believe that a leader does not value human life, it becomes very easy for them to believe that he could harm even those closest to him. That perception, fair or unfair, matters. But again, there's another uncomfortable layer to this conversation. You see, the president is a Kalenjin man.
I see, I can never see ingia izuma village tena. Hata mnipe 1 million US dollars stack. I don't want it.
Rightly or wrongly, there exists a stereotype in Kenya that the Kalenjin men are emotionally distant, not publicly affectionate, strict in how they handle women.
1 minute is talking to me, the next minute ataki kuangana me more than 2 seconds. Kai wakale. Kama uko karibu na mkale, boom, slap.
Now, stereotypes are dangerous. They are often unfair, but they shape public imagination. So, when people combine a president seen as ruthless, cultural stereotypes about masculinity, and visible discomfort from the First Lady, the conclusion forms quickly, even without evidence.
Your Excellency, the President, together with Her Excellency, the First Lady.
Reason number 3. There's also the visible shift in how the president and the First Lady appear together. You see, when Ruto was the deputy president, these two were inseparable. They attended events together. They looked like a team. Today, Many Kenyans feel that that closeness is gone. People say that when they appear together, it feels forced, awkward, and distant. We don't know why. It could be pressure, it could be age, it could be the weight of the office. But again, Kenyans remember another Kalenjin leader, President Moi, who was rarely seen with his wife. As a matter of fact, people from my generation do not even know who was the wife to Moi. And so, the patterns repeat in people's minds.
Kina mama wa Kenya, kina mama wa Narok. Wacha niwaambie kwamba Kenya ya leo na Kenya ya kesho ni Kenya ambayo ni bora zaidi.
Now, let us pause and actually shift the focus where it truly belongs. Rachel Ruto. Imagine being the wife of the most criticized president in Kenya's history. Every day, your husband is called a thief, a killer, a liar.
Are you aware, Your Excellency, for example, that a lot of Kenyans recently don't associate the truth with you?
Whether online, on the streets, even in homes. And it's not like you experience this from afar. You experience it up close. You go home with that man. You hear it. You feel it. You carry it. Ask yourself honestly, what kind of headspace would that put you in? What does that do to your emotional health, your body language, your spirit? Could that explain why she often appears withdrawn, overwhelmed, tired?
And to welcome our mother of the nation, First Lady, Her Excellency, Madam Rachel Ruto.
Here is the most tragic part. Even if Rachel Ruto stood up tomorrow and said, "My husband has never assaulted me," would Kenyans actually believe her? Many wouldn't, because they no longer associate this presidency with the truth.
We go beyond discussing with the ministries of agriculture.
That's a cruel place to be as a woman, to have to suffer silently. You get the pressure, you get the public hatred, the emotional exhaustion, and yet you have no credibility to defend yourself, simply because you married a liar. So, this video is not about proving domestic violence. That is not my place. That is not my role. As a matter of fact, that is not our role. But it does say something deeply troubling. When citizens without hesitation associate a leader with violence, even inside his own home, that leader has already lost something precious. Trust, moral authority, human connection.
Affordable housing umejemba nyumba maji hapa nyumba ngapi hapa ama namna gani bana?
And that is not the kind of president any country would want. Not really because of rumors, but because of what those rumors reveal about how people really feel.
Eyes are windows to the soul, and I keep telling you people, you need to learn to read body language and recognize patterns.
So the real question is not, was the first lady beaten? The real question is, what kind of presidency creates a nation that believes such a story without hesitation? That is the conversation that Kenya must have. Subscribe.